I am flabbergasted. I am flummoxed. I am. What's another F word for surprised? Floored. I am floored. I need to come clean right away. This is not a 6-kid review today. It's a 4-kid review because my teenage daughters were busy this weekend and I just figured they wouldn't mind missing it. This would just be some action robot movie that my sons would enjoy because robots, and I would get some theater popcorn. Everybody wins. I believe this week you're going to start seeing a lot of surprised positive reviews like this one, because this is actually a great movie that the whole family can enjoy. As usual, I'll give you the good, the not so good, the things you might care about as a parent, and my kids' scores and reviews. So let's jump in. Oh wait, sorry, before we do that, I need you to transform the like button from whatever color it is now to a different color by pressing roll out. Don't spill. Quick synopsis, gonna contain some light spoilers, but this is an origin story to characters you already know, and also it's not trying to be deep and twisty, but there is your warning. First up, as you are likely aware, this is a prequel explaining how Optimus Prime and Megatron came to be their respective selves. They have different names in the movie, but I will not be using them. This movie starts from the absolute beginning. You don't need to bring any knowledge in with you. It opens up with how Cybertron came to be, and we jump in with the personality of our two main characters and the state of the world. Robots are upper caste, who can transform, and lower caste, who cannot because they don't have cogs in their chest. So they have to mine energon for energy because long ago the proto-transformers, the Primes, fought a battle and lost the Matrix of Leadership, which is the dumbest name I can imagine, but there it is. Only one Prime is left, Sentinel Prime, played by Jon Hamm, and he's super charismatic and protects the city and leads expeditions to the surface to find the Matrix, but nobody else is allowed to go up there. You want to guess where this goes? Yeah, you're correct. I already know, you're correct, yeah. This movie is not deep. It's not trying to be. It is fun and shockingly competently written. Obviously, our 4 heroes end up on the surface and they discover the truth. And then their response to that truth is the real story here. And it's told well, while being entertaining for the whole family. So let's start with the pros because there are several. My biggest pro is that this movie isn't stupid. And it could have been. It's CGI robots. It could have been Cocomelon levels of dialogue and boys would have eaten this up regardless. And many people in Hollywood clearly believe that children don't deserve anything good, so they pump out slop for kids to lap up. But this movie did not do that. And I want to shout about that from the rooftops. The characters were developed, everyone had a distinct motivation, the story made sense, and it did not attempt to tell kids that their heroes don't deserve to be heroes or that villains aren't as bad as we think. This is something we are seeing a lot in kids media right now, and it makes me irate. I cannot express adequately how furious this crap makes me, and to attempt to even come close would require words that would demonetize this video instantly. But this movie didn't do that. When they learned the truth, Optimus wants to set things right and free the miners, while Megatron wants violent revenge. He wants power so no one can ever control him again. At no point is Megatron's ambition and thirst for revenge ever portrayed in even a mildly ambiguous light. Honestly, they make it so clear that his anger and vengeance are wrong, it's almost a bit rushed. He is immediately like a different person, and his friends are immediately concerned about his attitude. His response is incorrect and leads to more violence and the loss of his best friend Optimus. And your kids will not see one single second where the ambitious Megatron is seen as sympathetic. His motivation makes sense, and it's also clearly bad. I'm sorry to belabor that point, but the moral relativism lately is just thoroughly under my skin. That loss of friendship is extremely well done, by the way, when the final confrontation happens and Megatron turns on his friend in the name of power and revenge. It actually felt impactful. This movie is extremely efficient, and all throughout the plot, Optimus and Megatron's brotherhood is built up and reaffirmed again and again. Their dialogue feels natural, their relationship is so well established. When the final split happens, it really is sad. That payoff had solid setup. The whole movie is like that, with solid writing all throughout. We get plenty of setup and payoff moments, dialogue in the beginning that comes up later, and very few instances felt like it was written for kids. Like, you've seen movies that think only 4-year-olds are gonna watch, so they spell everything out in the stupidest way. This was clear, like I said, it's not trying to be deep, but also respects the audience. The efficiency is really praiseworthy here. The runtime is 1 hour and 44 minutes without credits, and in that time, They tell you the cosmology of the world, the caste system, the main villain, the fringe villains, the main character and their personalities, their actions to get noticed, the two other characters and their motives and personality, the trip to the surface, the finding out the truth, the intro of what will be the Decepticons, the confrontation and the big fights, then the real confrontation between the friends and their fight, the split establishing Decepticons and Autobots, and the wrap-up. That is so much ground to cover while making sure that a younger audience can follow, but an older audience won't get bored. This is really good writing. The last thing I want to mention is how going all CGI was a great call, and I liked the style. I haven't been keeping up with the Transformers movies for a while, they just really aren't my thing, and I was never a fan of the hyper-realistic robots trying to blend in with the human actors who are clearly operating on a green screen. This avoids that and goes with a more stylized visual that you can see here in the trailer, and it works well. This rides the line of being fun for kids without being annoying. You adults won't feel like you watched almost 2 hours of Baby Shark, both in the color palette and the dialogue. I really thought the pink robot, Alita, was going to be an annoying girl boss. More nuanced, not the case. I thought Bumblebee was going to be relentlessly stupid and annoying, and they did a great job of pulling him back when he got too close to that. On every level, this team stayed balanced, and I am so happy to talk about quality media. This is great. Okay, gotta calm down. Let's do some critiques because there are some. Mostly, the villains here are weak, which is slightly understandable since the real story is Optimus and Megatron, but weak is still weak. When you meet Sentinel, he is immediately inauthentic, to the point that it almost becomes a plot issue because the miners can't be this stupid to fall for this guy, right? We also met the Decepticons pretty late in the movie, and they just felt jammed in because we need them. I know we're covering a lot of ground, so some things are going to be this way, but again, weak is weak. You got to call it what it is. Finally, there is a third alien villain force hanging over everything. They are what the Primes were originally fighting against. They are who Sentinel is working with. They are clearly a sequel setup, but the aliens are the most obvious thing that is told and not shown. Now for the parent section, my 4-year-old is pretty noise sensitive, yet did not need her ear protection for this one. Seems like they did a good job of sound balance. Optimus and Megatron are really good friends. They have such a strong bond. They are not boyfriends. I really thought Alita was going to be annoying, and you might hear some people talking about a speech where she says she's better than Optimus, which she did say, but it was part of a pep talk where she said he cares about people, and he's a good leader, and he's the best person to save everyone. Not a bait and switch going on here. The other thing with Alita is that, yes, she is kind of a girl bossy character, but they also insinuate that her pushiness is a bit of a character flaw. You may have seen this in the previews, but a recurring joke is that Bumblebee has been stuck in a basement for a long time, which is why he's so weird, and he wants to be cool, and he really wants the nickname Badassatron to stick. It gets said a lot, which is weird for this PG rating, so be aware of that. You've obviously got a lot of robot violence, robots getting shot, ripped in half, stabbed. Some of this is implied by cutting away right before a head gets chopped off. Some of it is right there, like when Megatron rips a robot in two. Hopefully that covers what parents want to know, but feel free to ask me in the comments if you're wondering about something specific. Now, let's see those kids' scores. Here they are. Like I said, my teen daughters didn't come this time, but the younger ones had a blast. 12-year-old noted how cool it was that Megatron's eyes get a deeper orange as he gets worse, then finally go all red to cement his villain status. He liked that it was an origin story, not an add-on or a retcon. Loved Badassatron. Did not like the aliens and how they never got wrapped up. 10-year-old didn't like the alien bit either, or how fast Megatron turns evil, but he did think the whole movie was extremely funny, liked the origin story in the same way that he really likes Wonka with Timothée Chalamet. 8-year-old loved Bumblebee and his imaginary basement friends. This version of Bee is going to be a fan favorite, I can tell you. He also did not like the open-ended alien plot or the speed at which Megatron turns evil. My 4-year-old had 0 bathroom breaks. She was locked in the whole time. And in the second half of this movie, she was literally on the edge of her seat. She said she really liked the pink robot, but, and I'm quoting, didn't like when the bad robot was punching the good robot. My wife liked that it was an origin story that matched up well with what we already know, and it was fun. She liked the lack of human actors, the all CGI. She said the music was very good. She did acknowledge that the plot has some conveniences. This is not deep cinema, but it's still a good time. Overall, I think your kids are going to love this movie, and you adults will find it enjoyable as well. This is a great one to experience as a family and have a good time at the theater. I know a lot of people didn't love the trailer, so does any of this make you want to see it now? If you've already seen it, what do you think? Let me know down in the comments. I hope your family has a lovely time with this one. I appreciate you watching as always, and I'll see you next time.